basically an insight in my life. I will tell you a little bit about my interests, my background, and my personal goals. So to start off, I would like to tell you about my interests. I really like to volunteer. So for that, I would like to share a personal experience about when I volunteered. So one evening, one of my friends came up to me and told me that they had volunteered, and I didn't know what this was all about. But my elementary school teacher came to me and she asked me to help out over the summer. And it was a really awesome experience. What I had to do was just basically take care of children, like I watched over them. And eventually I became to do more things. I helped out at soup kitchens, and I also helped at food distribution centers. My church was a place where I volunteered the most. Another thing that I like to do in my spare time is crochet. So I brought this book. It has a lot of pictures of things that I once hoped to do. I really love when I find a new pattern, and I challenge myself to learn how to make it. And the greatest thing about that is that you know that you did it yourself with your hands, and it's your special creation. Okay, I also, in my spare time, I like to jog. I recently moved to Folsom about 2 weeks ago, and I cannot begin to tell you guys how excited I am to check out the trails there, because they're pretty amazing. So for that, I have this book here. It's called Jogging for Women. And I love the fact that after you start running, you get into this pace and you just keep going, especially outdoors, enjoying nature and just feeling like you can go far. It also helps you relieve stress and feel like you're being healthy, you're doing something about your body. Activism is the fourth thing that I really love to do. And I didn't know I was an activist. My sophomore year in high school, one of my friends had asked me to participate in a march. And I did it without knowing what I got myself into, but in the end, this march was something that I actually enjoyed doing, and I found out the reasons why I was doing it after I participated. But in college, that was when I actually took more of a approach into how I was going to live my life. So I began to join organizations and learn about the world and how much injustice there is. So instead of sitting at home and just saying, why is things the way they are, I decided to take a stand and do something about it, about basically becoming politically active. Now that you guys know a little bit about my interests, I'd like to tell you about my background. My name is Dianna Diaz, and it's commonly misspelled. As you can tell, there's a difference between my name tag and the agenda. My name is, it's pronounced like Dianna, but it's spelled Dianna. So that's because the I is pronounced E in Spanish. And I'm actually fluent, and I can read it and write it. And the reason being is because I lived the first 9 years of my life in Mexico. So that leads into a little bit of my background. The reason why I came here was first to come visit my dad. I took a trip here to LA in 2001 with my siblings and my mom. Eventually, I remember a few days after we got here, we had gone to Disneyland, and my cousins came with us, and it was such a hot day, but I didn't care because I hadn't seen my dad in 3 years, and I was like, I am the luckiest girl ever. So, moving on from then, my dad actually told my mom that it would be the best idea for us to stay in the country. So, my mom considered it. She didn't really want us to stay, but in the end, she ended up giving in, and my siblings and I stayed with my dad so our family could be together. So for that reason, I had a lot of obstacles at the time. I had to get used to the new school system. I had to learn a different language, and I no longer had my old friends. So from that point, school was really tough, but eventually I, of course, learned English. And the school, I learned to embrace it. I wanted to do good in school. I wanted to be on the honor roll. I wanted to go to college. and I did it. So thanks to the choices my parents made, I am here today. Therefore, I would like to conclude by just letting you guys all know my 4 interests, which are volunteering, crocheting, and jogging, along with activism, and that I'm very thankful for my family and just to have the opportunity to be the first one in my family to go to college and graduate.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.